Is that on?
Sometimes it takes a couple of pushes.
Was it? I'm short. Well, good morning,
Okay.
counselors. I'm Laura
Welcome.
Provalt, the HR director here at the county. Go ahead and forward slide. I'm just going to provide you a very brief overview of the HR department structure, what we do, how we serve the county. So HR is, we serve as a strategic partner dedicated to attracting, developing, and retaining a diverse workforce by managing all aspects of labor relations, employee relations, risk, and safety. Our team is comprised of 16 team members who we work collaboratively with approximately 22 departments here at the county. The team itself is made up, we have outside of myself, I have an HR manager. Her name is Monique Hunter. She supports our HR representative group. There's 5 professionals that work in that capacity. She also oversees our office assistant. So Josie is kind of the cog that makes everything go round in our department daily. We also have a risk manager, Jamie. She's kind of the second leg. She oversees safety, risk, and the workers' comp programs. Within her area, she does support 3 employees. We have a safety manager, 2 project coordinators that support workers' comp and safety. We also are currently recruiting for a project position for a workers' comp manager. That is something that we have 2-year funding for. So we are currently recruiting for that particular position. We also have another leg in our Department of Benefits and Leave Administration that is led by Amy Johnson. She has a very small team of 2 other individuals. That's one primarily supports the leave administration, and the other she's our benefits specialist. So she fields a lot of questions from employees, works with some outside vendors. We also have an HRIS administrator. His name is Jeremy Hamrick. And then our department also works closely with the Sheriff's Department. They have a very small HR team themselves where there's 2 full-time employees within their area. So we do collaborate with them on a regular basis and provide support since our team is much larger than their team. Go ahead and move forward. So the primary service areas within HR, and I'm just going to kind of hit a couple high points for each of these different categories. But employee relations, we counsel and advise supervisors and managers as well as support employees. We educate the county in different ways on HR policy as well as collective bargaining agreement interpretation and application. Performance management, we handle complaint investigations and resolutions. And I will say in 2024, we did conduct approximately 50 investigations throughout the county in a lot of different capacities. We also help support conflict resolution throughout the different departments and really collaborate with those teams. Under labor relations, we do manage and have 13 different union and guilds that we have contracts with, so collective bargaining agreements. Our department does do the primary chief negotiation for all of those contracts, and they do have various cycles that they are in. Some are 3, most of them are 3 years, expiring at different times. So we do manage those. We also in the department manage all grievance processes as well as any if a unfair labor practice was filed against the county, arbitration, things of that nature, the HR team does handle those items. Under employee engagement and training, we do support and participate in various groups throughout the county to ensure that we've got good engagement with employees. We do champion the diversity committee. We have one particular employee that sits and manages that committee. So very much for, diversity, inclusion, equity across the board. And then we also provide various trainings for employees, managers, and supervisors. Under benefits and leave administration, we do manage employee benefit packages as approved by council. Currently, we are in the midst of a very comprehensive benefit study to really review our current programs and how we compare to other organizations similar to ours. At this point, that analysis or review will be complete by July 1st. We also, within that area, the leave management, that is becoming, it's increasing that employees are requesting variety of different leaves available to them in the workplace. Things such as FMLA, PFML, which is the paid family medical leave here in Washington State, OFLA, which is the Oregon leave that is similar to the Washington PFML, and various other leaves available to them. That particular area also handles any ADA accommodation type requests. We also handle staffing and recruitment. Within that, we do create or coordinate all of the recruitment activities, which includes everything from the first engagement with a candidate all the way through the hiring process in supporting the departments. I will say that in 2024, we had over 350 recruitments that we helped oversee the process with. We also have an HR representative. Her name is Leslie Harrington Smith. She is the, I believe it's the Civil Service Secretary. And so she helps coordinate all of the recruitments within the sheriff's office as well. So again, that's part of the support that we provide the sheriff's office. With that being said, in January and February of 2025 alone, we have interviewed a total of 158 employees that would be covered under civil service if hired. Of course, there's a long process with those recruitments because it goes through a background, and only about 50% make it through for possible offers of employment. But Leslie does help and sit through all of those interviews, helping support the sheriff's office. Compensation and classification management, job description management. We currently have in 2025, the council approved one-time funding for us to go out for an RFP to have all of our job descriptions updated. That is set to go out at the end of April with hopes that we'll start that project by August 1st of this year. Very important to have up-to-date job descriptions. It just hasn't been done in quite some time. So thank you for approving that funding. We also regularly review compensation, benchmarking against a set group of comparables just to ensure that we are competitive in the market. Under employment legal compliance, we ensure that our policies, procedures, labor contracts are in compliance with state and federal laws and regulations. So always monitoring that, as well as just managing the risks associated with employment matters. And we work closely with the PA's office to help support us from a legal perspective if things do arise. We also have HRIS administration. Currently, our system is Workday. So Jeremy Hemrick, the one I referred to earlier that's on my team, is the guru. He's supportive of that particular software as it relates to human resources, as well as maintaining our ClarkNet sites on the intranet, as well as some external web page support that we handle. Within that, we are responsible for maintaining the database, personnel and benefit files, processing changes in the system as it relates to employees, and then doing a variety of reporting out of that system. And the last one is our risk and safety management. The primary goal there is taking proper steps to mitigate potential risks that can impact county operations, service, and public trust, ensuring the continuity of essential functions while adhering to legal and ethical standards. There are three primary legs within that area. That is loss control, so things such as insurance, vehicle use, ergonomics, workplace violence, tort claims. We do use a third party to manage claims and pay and track expenses related to those types of loss control. We also have workers' compensation. That one is a process. We process claims from initial notice of injury, illness, or exposure through the closing of a claim. Again, we work very closely in that way with the affected employees and their departments, figuring out, being creative in that, trying to get light duty employees back in the workplace as quickly as possible. And then, of course, there's safety. So ensuring the safety and well-being of employees and putting measures into place to protect them from workplace hazards and personal or potential injuries. The safety manager and the support staff that he has, they do work with a variety of different safety committees across the county. Many departments have their own, but we are a collaborator with the departments to ensure that safety is being, top priority, as well as any training associated with that. Next slide. So HR is primarily funded by the general fund. That would include everything with salaries, benefits, and all others, with the exception of the risk and safety realm. They are supported by the general liability and the workers' comp funds. So the ones that we are primarily oversee is general liability. So that's Fund 5040. That is a self-insurance fund established to finance uninsured liability claims and deductible portions of insured liability claims against the county. That is primarily overseen by our risk department. The unemployment fund, the county is a reimbursable employer with Washington State for unemployment claims when an employee separates. And then for the state of Oregon, we are a taxable employer. So reimbursable with Washington State just simply means that they run claims through the unemployment office here in Washington State, and on a quarterly basis, the county pays for the actual amounts paid out to separated employees. With Oregon, the way the tax works is much like anything else. There's rates that we pay to them, and we just do that on a monthly basis. And then they cover any costs that go out to separated employees. We also oversee the workers' compensation fund. Again, that's really under the risk umbrella. We are self-insured for work-related injury, illness, and/or exposures. The county is we do collect funds from employee and us as the employer to support any costs associated with any workers' compensation injuries and/or time loss benefits that may be paid out. And then the health self-insurance fund, Fund 5045. So this is where monies come from to support the variety of benefits. We are self-insured for our health care claims. The fund accounts for the employer and employee contributions for the non-HMO provider and for medical and dental coverage. We work very closely with Mark Gassaway and the auditor's office on managing that fund. Next slide. So council decision-making impacts. The council approval is required for the following items as it relates to human resources, and that is it's within the council's purview to the overall compensation policies, including but not limited to base pay, incentive, and premium compensation, the overall design of merit pay and step increases, the overall design of benefits and eligibility, overall design of insurance benefit plans, eligibility, and employee contributions, as well as setting collective bargaining guidelines and approving collective bargaining agreements. So we have met before, just not in this forum. And actually, I think that's kind of a very high overview of the HR department. I will say that there was a multiple page document provided at the beginning, I believe, of this year that has a little more detail in it. So please be sure to refer to that if other questions arise. Do you guys have any questions for me today?
Council? Oh, go ahead, Counselor.
Yeah, sorry if I missed this, but did you, how many total employees do we have and what proportion of our general fund what proportion of our general fund is that?
So overall here at the county?
Yeah.
Okay. We have approximately 1,800 employees throughout all the departments at the county. And I am actually not sure exactly what percentage. It's Emily may be able to help me with that
Roughly.
answer.
We'll have to get back to you. I can tell you more than 70% of the general fund is law and justice, which includes
Right.
the sheriff, the jail, the courts, the prosecuting attorney, clerk. So there's a little bit more than that. That would include for HR, budget, and other departments that have general fund. But we can get
Thank you.
more
Yep.
specific.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Counselor.
Chair. I was curious about how many FTEs there were as well. So thank you for asking that question. You mentioned that the Sheriff's Department has 2 dedicated HR employees, correct?
That is correct.
And so the county provides services for the jail, correct?
That is correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
Thank you.
Mhm. Good question.
Okay, other questions from council? Okay. Well, I'll just chime in. Thank you for providing this. I've learned a lot. You have a very broad scope of work that you're doing, and I would like if you could just elaborate a little bit. Related to the benefit study and the job descriptions. I see this as part of a 3-phase work that's been occurring over the last couple of years, which started with Baker Tilly, and these are components of that. But could you review that a little bit? Give us a little overview.
Yes. So back in, it was before my time, but I think it was in the fall of 2022, the council had approved to move forward with a compensation study, and they used a company called Baker Tilly to do that. During that process, they reviewed, went through, reviewed current jobs, placed them, benchmarked them basically in the market. And there was a realignment done on positions for salaries effective January 1st of 2023 for our represented folks and effective August 1st of 2023 for non-represented folks. During that process, it was to be a multi-phased project. So the first one being the realignment of salaries to be more competitive in the market. The second phase of that was to look at the actual job descriptions and ensure that those were getting updated. So that's what we're looking to do is contract that work out to a third party. It will not be Baker Tilly unless, well, I guess I can't say that. It could be if they were to submit an RFP. But what that is just to really align, making sure that we have job descriptions that are accurate with the appropriate minimum requirements of a position, working collaboratively with the departments. Unfortunately, with the HR team design as it sits today, we just don't have the capacity to pick up such a large project. So that's why we requested the one-time funding to be able to review that. The other piece of phase 2 was also to do a full benefits review. Baker Tilly, as part of their original analysis, they did a very high level benefits review that they provided us. However, it wasn't as detailed as what the county would need to really compare ourselves to other organizations, the information provided was aggregated. And if we do an internal benefits analysis with my own team, we can really look at exactly what other employers, public employers of like to the county are offering as total compensation. So that's what we're looking at, everything from leaves out of the office, whether it be vacation or PTO. We're looking at all the different benefits afforded to holiday pay, floating holiday structure, life insurance, short-term disability, really everything that would be, incorporated into total compensation. So my team is actively working on that as we speak, and we should have those results by July 1st. And then we'll do an analysis internally to say, where does the county come with regard to those comparable organizations? And would we need to make recommendation to council if something needs to be changed within those benefit packages?
Great. I think that's important context for us to understand. And the need, as I understand it, was that we were having difficulty recruiting and retaining employees, and that I see this as an area where we've made some very good progress.
You are correct. We're looking to try to be, a leading employer in the area, providing again, I will say it over and over, total compensation package that is competitive in the current market.
Which all translates to services to the public.
Yes, it does.
Okay, any other questions from council? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.